Hi, my name is Jessica Florence, and this is my second discussion board post for Hius 530 at Liberty University. For this week's post, I will be examining the contributions of the Methodist Church in America. John McElhenney, and also with Drew University, has created a kind of a comprehensive history of the Methodist Church from roughly the 1760s through the 1980s. And in this research, McElhenney groups the Methodist contributions into a series of tides. And these tides include pietism, nationalism, the Civil War, idealism, and pluralism. And again, these tides are to demonstrate how the Methodists have contributed to America's history. So the first is the Pietist tide, and this begins in the 1760s with John Wesley and the development of Methodist societies within the colonies, and also with an emphasis on missions. The Pietist tide very quickly then moves into the Nationalist tide, where the Methodists have the opportunity to be involved in political activism as the new country is created. It is also during this time that it's very evident that the Methodists want to support causes that they feel will honor God and also address maybe some of what are termed as societal ills. So in doing so, the Methodists really work through their missionary efforts to help create a sense of community and to be involved in what is going on in the foundation of this new nation. Moving into the Civil War, Mark Knoll notes that the Methodists really were the largest entity in the country outside of the federal government. So at this point, they really are kind of facing head-on some of the societal problems that the country is addressing within the church. And the Civil War is actually an example of how the Methodists addressed the issue of slavery much sooner than the nation did. So in the 1840s, the Methodists will split, whether pro-slavery or anti-slavery, much sooner than the country split between the North and the South. So as the Civil War continued and progressed and then eventually came to an end, Richard Carradine notes that the political prominence that the Methodist Church had acquired at this point is very interesting, because the Methodists were not so much concerned with allying themselves with a particular political party, but they were concerned about supporting people or ideas or causes that they felt would honor God. And again, the policies that they supported or the people that they supported were always in line with whatever their religious convictions were. Political activism and religious practice were very much cohesive for many in the Methodist Church, and it's very evident to see that as they supported numerous issues. Which brings us into the tide of idealism, and this lasts from the late 1860s to about 1918. And it's during this time that the Methodists really demonstrated their desire to educate and to teach, and how that they took the Great Commission, which commanded Christ's followers to go into the world and to teach, and they began that in America. So they had Sunday school movements, and they established institutions of higher education to reflect their desire to fulfill the Great Commission. As the country moved into the 19th century, Methodism will also go through another tide or another change, and this will be the tide of pluralism. This particular tide is interesting because it's marked by so much diversity. The nation had gone through world wars, an economic depression, and also issues of desegregation and the Cold War as well. So the Methodist Church really faced a lot of social issues, and it was during this time that they really began to embrace a social gospel, which focused on equal rights, justice for all people, promoting child labor laws, workplace protection, fair minimum wage, all of these issues that they felt really honored God and honored God's people. And so what is the probably major takeaway from the contributions of the Methodist Church to American history is their ability to evolve and address social issues and to be active and choose things that they felt would honor God, but most importantly was their emphasis to win souls for Christ and to complete the Great Commission as they felt God had ordained them to do. And it wasn't to say it wasn't without problem or without error, but they demonstrated that the church would take very seriously what they felt Christ had commanded, and that was their major contribution to American history. Thank you.